Wasn't planning on doing a video on this, but I decided I'd go ahead. We're changing the starter on a Mule 610. This starter was going out. The starter has been sounding pretty sick, but recently the solenoid has started acting up. You can bang on it. Well, it could be the starter motor too, but it's just sounded awful, and I think it's finally given up the ghost. So went ahead and pulled it off. I picked up one on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. I wasn't going to video this because I thought it was going to be straightforward. There was a few little catches to it. All these wires and stuff you can just kind of pull out of the way. This solenoid wire just pulls off. It's just got a little spade connector. You can see there. Of course, you got to take the battery cable off. I undid the. You want to undo the battery cable from the battery, which I did. You don't want this shorting out against anything when you take the cable off. So took that off. Once I got the starter unbolted, which the bolts are right here. There's one here, and then there's one. You can see it right there. That's the second bolt, so you need to get those two off. They're 12 millimeter. I couldn't get the starter out. I ended up, this bracket was in the way, couldn't wiggle it out, so I undid this bracket. It's two 14 millimeter bolts. Just undid it and just kind of pushed it a little bit out of the way. But it still wouldn't come out. It was hanging up on the housing, which I'm thinking this housing, you're supposed to take it off. They intend for you to take it off. But I was able to just undo this one bolt, which I'm in the middle of putting back on, 10 millimeter. And that gave this housing enough flex that starter would pull off. And got the starter off, put the new one in, and we should be good to go. I just need to tighten these up, tighten that up, and actually what we'll do is, the other one was 12 millimeter. Old starter. This one is going to be a 1/2 inch or 13. Don't over tighten these bolts. They are. This is a. There's no need to over tighten those, and they strip out easy. Put that back on, and I'll bolt up the battery real quick, and we will test this thing out before we get it all back together to make sure this new starter works. But I think I'm gonna have to bring y'all back because this is gonna take me a minute. Let's see if I can get it real quick. I just did the negative cabling and did either one. That didn't take that long. Alright. Like I said, we gotta get the housing and the shift cable back on. But let's just see. We put it in neutral. Still lines up. Let's just see how the new starter sounds. Oh, that is the fastest it's ever spun over. The other one, let's hear that again. The other one was really slow turning over. I think it was just dragging really bad. Man, that sounds good. The other one was turning over really slow, and it sounded awful. It sounded so burn-up motor sounding, you know, doing. Yeah, I guess that's a bad impression of a burn-up motor, but anyway, so I'm gonna put this last bolt in. We'll put those two to bolt the bracket back in, and I'm gonna take the air gun and just kind of blow off all in here. I cleared off where the starter was, but we're gonna hit the rest of it, check oil, all that kind of stuff. Got a low tire, just kind of give it a quick once over, make sure everything's good. It's got a little bit of a low idle. Before I adjust anything, I'm gonna before I adjust the idle up, I'm going to spray some silicone on all the pivot points for the throttle and all that, just to make sure there's nothing binding up, and then get that all working good. It's kind of a good idea just to kind of do that every once in a while. These things get dirty, and you just kind of want to make sure everything's working good before you just start making adjustments. So anyway, that's it for now. So thanks for watching.